Let's return to Live from the State Capitol with Fred Dicker here on Talk 1300.
Well, Republicans in the 20th Congressional District have to be ecstatic over this new poll just out this morning from Siena College. Chris Gibson taking a 9-point lead over incumbent Democrat Scott Murphy in the congressional race. Joining us right now is a guy who's probably more ecstatic than all of them. He is Chris Gibson himself, and listeners to the show, I think, have heard him several times. I know he's a very articulate and impressive guy. Good morning, Chris, and congratulations.
Hey, Fred. Good to be with you again.
Well, you've been predicting that you were going to win. You were going to win this race. It's not over yet, but what do you make of a 9-point lead when this poll from Siena just 6 weeks ago was saying you were pretty far behind?
Well, Fred, look, the polling results are encouraging, but the only result that's going to matter is that on Election Day. So, at this point, we're still focused very clearly and energetically on getting the vote out.
Yep, well, I know you're being modest, but what do you account, how do you explain this 9-point lead now? What do you think is happening out there?
Fred, we talked about this last time I was on. We're working hard every day to bring our message to the voters of the 20th District. We're blessed to have 1,200 registered volunteers, and, they're knocking every day, and they're making phone calls every day. We're reaching out to our voters. We're bringing our message. And, the number one issue in this campaign is jobs. And, look, my opponent, he was a successful businessman, but he's not acting that way when he represents us in the United States Congress. He gets an F from NFIB. And, look, it's his legacy in the Congress is one of job losses, tax increases, mounting debt, and more big government. So the voters in our district, they're ready for a change. I'm honored to have the endorsement of NFIB. I really attribute that because I listened very carefully. I've been all over the district listening to small business owners and their employees, and they tell us what needs to happen. I mean, they're the ones who are going to make the decisions that grow the economy.
Well, they're hurting, no question about it. NFIB is National Federation of Independent Businesses. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, it sure is. And, the small business owners and their employees, they tell me day in and day out the impediments to growth, and it's taxes, regulation, and healthcare costs. And these are the areas where we need to be addressing so that we can set the environment. The current environment is hostile and uncertain to growth, and what we need to do is change that to make it facilitating to growth. And when we do, we'll grow our economy.
Chris, what do you make of the fact that your opponent, Scott Murphy, is bringing Bill Clinton, the former president, into the district to campaign for him? Do you think that will help him at all?
Well, look, here's the thing. He can bring President Clinton in, but at the end of the day, he's still stuck with his voting record. And like I said, he has a legacy of job loss, tax increase, mounting debt, and more big government. So there isn't anything that former President Clinton can do to erase that.
The poll indicates that perhaps the most popular political figure in the district is Kirsten Gillibrand, who used to represent that seat. Has she been around campaigning for Scott Murphy at all? And Chris, do you expect her to be there campaigning on behalf of Murphy?
Well, I'm not aware that she has been. I'm very focused on our race here, so I can't confirm any reports that she's been in the district. She may very well have been. I'm not aware of it.
I would think they would use her in a TV commercial. That would probably be a smart thing to do. Let me ask you what you're going to do in the final days, just a week to go from today to the election. Do you have any plans to change what you've been doing, your TV campaign approach or advertising approach, or anything else?
Fred, this campaign plan that we devised was actually drafted back in March. We've said all along that we'll compete in the air, but we're going to win on the ground. So, we're just going to basically complete the plan as initially designed, which is, we've got one last ad that'll come up, and that'll be up this week. And again, we're going to continue to work tirelessly on the ground to reach, to finish identifying all our voters and get them to the polls.
Well, I congratulate you on how well this poll shows you're doing. It's not an easy job, to say the least. Compared to your work in the military, do you think this has been, it's on a different scale, but has it been tougher, harder work than you anticipated, or kind of easy compared to what you had to go through when you were in the military?
Well, look, Fred, I'm not being shot at, right? So
right,
it's a good day.
Well, actually, you are being shot at, just not with live bullets.
Well, that really speaks to the gravity of what our servicemen and women are doing every day overseas, and my thoughts and prayers are with them right now.
Good point. And once again, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. God bless you.
Take care. Chris Gibson, Republican candidate for 20th CD, who a new poll today, Siena College's Research Institute poll show, has now taken a 9-point lead over Scott Murphy, the incumbent Democrat. This is Fred Dicker live at the State